On today's show, it's June, or as Sandy calls it, her birth month. And as such, it takes on a different hue. I'm not sure what the colour is, but you know that tint that the world takes on when you're looking at it through a black eye because you forgot it's Sandy's birthday. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy. And happy birthday, Sandy.
Thank you and welcome everybody. And yes, it is my birth month and I celebrate every single solitary day. I love it.
And no, nothing about the black eye. You're not going to try to refute that or anything?
No, because if you forget, you deserve it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I walked into a door, officer. That's what happened. All right. This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and souls on their earth journey. And that's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now at this very moment, then look no further than your dreams. To get your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast or simply email your dream to radioshow@dream-analysis.com. So, what have we got going on, Sandy?
Wow. Well, tomorrow, exciting. It is our free dream clinic at 9 a.m. Now get the time right. It is 9 a.m. Pacific time. We moved it due to many things, but it seems like the 9 a.m. time frame is working great. And if you want to join us, which we would love to have you, go to Free Dream Clinic, all one word, freedreamclinic.com for more. And we started our new mentorship, and those are on Sundays, as well as a new DTG, which Michael has an interesting way of describing that healing course, but that started on Saturday. So our summer is going to be busy, but we are excited to see these people go through these classes and see all the healing that they get. But anyways, Michael, that's all I can think of. Do you think of anything else?
No, nothing except that I don't share enough in my email list about what's going on. So I've got to fix that. Yes,
Good idea. That's a good idea.
All right. So let's dive into the dreams. I think it's a mixed bag today. There isn't a particular theme, but often one kind of falls out of it based on your question, Sydney.
All righty. Well, this one, it seems like it'll be an interesting dream. And it's from Rachel. And it's called Kittens, Mice, and a Snake. Ooh. All righty. I'm in a hallway, perhaps in a large hotel, and see a small gray kitten walk into the open door of an elevator. The elevator door remains open as people rush in and out. The kitten stays in the elevator and is in harm's way. So I walk over and rescue it. I take it down the hallway to my bedroom and play with it on my bed. On my pillow appears a large glass jar with a whitened kitten inside. Ooh, we got two kittens now. I take a photograph of the gray and white kitten together and then notice another large glass jar on the left is filled with many bright white balls of fluffy fur. Thinking they're kittens too? Ooh. I open the jar and on the left, but realize it's filled with, fluffy white mice. You can tell I'm not a big mice fan. I tilted the jar to feed the kittens a mouse, each, but the 4 or 5 mice escape into my bed and scramble away. Clearly, the kittens aren't good at catching mice. I take the kittens down the hall to find their owner. It's a woman who's got several stations of animals in display in the hallway across from the elevator. I hadn't noticed her earlier. Each display is about 3 feet tall. I put the kittens into the kitten display and then notice the center display, there is one live snake that she's feeding. I think to myself, I should probably feed the bottle of mice to the snake, but wake up from the dream. That is, well, they made it sound like a good dream, but I don't know, Michael, is that a good dream or is it a warning?
Absolutely not a good dream. And you said she feeds 4 or 5 mice or tries to feed them or they escape, but it's 3 or 4. So this tells us something about how your brain's working. You're just thinking about birthday cake today.
That's right. That's right. Gotta
So,
have some.
okay, not a good dream. The mice are a symbol for cancer, and the snake indeed is a symbol for cancer. So it's a health warning dream. And we've already had long discussions with this dreamer about this. So Rachel knows, and we have permission here to use the dream. So let's go to the start. I'm in the hallway. That hallway and the bedroom, they're both reproductive system symbols. So that's where the warning is. That's the part of the body, I mean. And she says perhaps it's a large hotel. So the dream is bringing her back to the start of life, her reception at the start of life, or something in that phase, early phase of life. And I see a small grey kitten walk into the open door of an elevator. The elevator door remains open as people rush in and out. So the elevator is also another symbol for the reproductive system. Coming down in an elevator is about birth. Any small room that's kind of claustrophobic or doesn't have windows or doors, well, especially windows, can be about the womb. And that's where we start off. So coming into an elevator, coming down is always an indicator of being in the womb, in mom's womb. And then we have the kitten. So we know the kitten, I'm going to come back to the kitten because they're prominent in the dream, but it's a kitten, so it means it's small. So again, it's when you were small, when you were a child, let's say. And she walks over to rescue it. So what is she walking over? Trying to rescue a kitten that's in harm's way. So it's trying to rescue herself or her own inner child. That's what she's actually doing in the dream. I take it down the hall to my bedroom and play with it on my bed. So playing with it is good. The bed is another symbol for the reproductive system, obviously. And then on my pillow appears a large glass jar with a white kitten inside. So another kitten. And because of this, we have two jars, and we know it's the reproductive system, I would focus on the ovaries. But not just that, but I would definitely include it as a concern. I take a photograph. So a photograph is another reproductive symbol. Photographs reproduce an image of whatever you take a picture of. And it's of the grey and white kitten together. And they notice another large glass. Then notice another large glass on the left is filled with many bright white balls of fluffy fur. And we don't like that because they turn out to be mice. Mice are a cancer symbol. And she thinks they're kittens. She opens the jar and she decides to feed the kittens to them, or feed the mice to the kittens. That's actually positive in the dream. Seems cruel, right? But if you think about this is your body. That's what the dream is about. And the kittens represent your immune system, or your immune system response to an issue. So if the mice are the cancer symbol, then the kittens are the immune system. And she says they're obviously not good at catching the mice. She says 3 or 4 mice escape onto my bed and scramble away. And so here's what I would do before we even continue any more of this dream. I would go back into this dream and imagine the whole thing again and have the cats catch the mice and kill them. You don't want to leave them loose in the dream. It doesn't matter if time has passed. This is definitely what you want to do, because that's telling your subconscious to deal with the issue that causes the suppression of your immune response. And we can get into what that is in a second. But anyway, they scramble away. Clearly the kittens aren't good at catching the mice. I take the kittens down the hall to find their owner. It's a woman who's got several stations of animals in displays in the hallway across from the elevator. So would you know that this dreamer has any issues? No, you wouldn't, because she puts on a display. Everything's fine. Displays aren't usually very good in dreams. With this type of display, they can be. They can be encouraging you to eat certain foods and all that sort of stuff. But here, it's not. So she says, I hadn't noticed her earlier. Each display is about 3 feet tall. So remember now, we've got 2 kittens, we've got 3 or 4 mice, and then 3 feet tall. So something happened around the age 3, because 3's come up a few times around that age in her life. And she puts the kittens into the display. Then notice the center display has a live snake. We don't like that. Snakes are a symbol for, or can be a symbol for cancer. They're not always. And she's feeding the snake. We don't like that either. I think to myself, I should probably feed the bottle of mice to the snake, but wake up from the dream. So what happened for this dreamer is at age 3, she was abused by a babysitter. And it was something that she didn't know about for a very long time, but it showed up in her dreams. I talked to her about it before, and she eventually found out what it was. Her memory of it came back. A lot of people, I mean, I can't imagine remembering something from age 3, but some people can. But we tend to suppress the negative things. Why carry them around? So when it came back, she then dealt with it. In fact, it changed her life a lot. It removed depression and all sorts of things to be able to work on that. But that's basically what this dream is about. But it's saying that this issue now is causing a threat to your body, and you've got to deal with that. So, Sandy, ask me questions.
Wow. First of all, looking at the dream from just reading it, it seems like a nice, gentle, easy dream, positive, not too bad. If you didn't know that mice were scary and snakes were scary, you would have thought, it's just, and I would have walked past this one. But my goodness, yes, the color. Oh, yeah. So let's start. So you've got a gray kitten and then a white kitten and then white, furry, fluffy mice. So what's going on with the gray and the white?
So the white is really the big issue here. Gray is about suppression of emotion. We don't like gray in dreams, but it's not a big issue. The white is worse though, because the white is because we see that the white mice are fed to the cat and everything. White is the color of milk, and so it's like the dreamer has a dairy intolerance, and we know it's dairy because the dream. So we know it's all when she was a child, when like right from her reception at birth up till age 3-ish. And she says later on that the woman that she didn't notice, so this is mom, issues with mom is going to be the big thing. And it's more about mom not noticing her than the other way around. But she says she thought about feeding the bottle of mice to the snake. So we take out mice and just say feed the bottle to this snake. This is going to be part of her issue. Her issue with milk is from the time when she was fed milk in a bottle as a baby. And so she has to work on all of that and avoid dairy at all costs. And I talked to her recently about this. I can't remember if she had slowly introduced some other type of milk. So what I find interesting is you can say, okay, I can be intolerant to normal dairy, but you can also be intolerant to any substitute milk as well, because it's really the emotional connection and trauma connected to this time in your life when you used to get fed a bottle and milk was your main source of nourishment. And so it's not the food, it's what comes up when you ingest that food. Does that make sense?
It does. So can I ask a question about that? So this is all subconscious. She would not know this because like switching to like almond milk or oat milk or any of that, she probably doesn't even feel the emotion that comes up when she drinks it.
Yeah, because of the gray cats. But that's really the strongest part is her immune system is lethargic. And so I said, what you need to do straight away is do something that's going to boost your immune system. So take, supplements that will do that, like echinacea and stuff. There's lots of things you can do that will kind of like boost it. And I also said, if it was my dream, this is one of the things that in the lightning dream method by Robert Moss, you say, if it was my dream, and I despise it because it's really not taking responsibility for your analysis of a dream. But anyway, this couldn't be my dream because it's about a female reproductive system. And so here I said, you should go get a checkup. If it was me, if I was you, I would go get a checkup. Just to rule things out. Dreams warn us about things in advance. And so we don't necessarily know how far something is developed or not developed, but you really want to check it. And then because of the possible reference to the ovaries, make sure that whatever they check includes that, because they often ignore that when they're doing regular checkups, which is why ovarian cancer is a big killer. By the time it's found, it's been there a while.
Wow. Okay. And then you've got like 3 or 4. So you've got 2, you've got 3, and you've got 4. So you want to explain a little bit about the numbers?
Yeah. So it's the age range. So dreams don't always go, it was when you were 2 years, 6 months, 5 days. There's no point in doing that. So they just kind of say around the age 2, but it could be age 1, 2, 3. So it's an approximation. And but we know it's that, and we know it's when she was small, because the elevator, people arriving on the elevator is about your arrival, and your immune system being suppressed from that age, suppressed today because of issues at that age. And so it's really saying, look, you can go get this treated, but you also have to deal with the issues from that age, because that's what's making your own immune system not deal with this. We all develop cancers. We all have issues, let's say medical issues that manifest in our bodies, but our immune system spots them and deals with them. So, it's normal for everybody to dream of cancer from time to time. But there are many ways that our body deals with cancer. And one of them is the cell itself will kill itself when it goes renegade. But if we have a healthy immune system, we will have no issue whatsoever. So that's the thing to address. Address your immune system and why it's suppressed because of issues from that age.
What I love about this dream and everything is it captures the stuff that you can work on and fix yourself before it becomes a problem. It doesn't show that there's any damage, right?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, that's a good thing about the dream.
So that is a real positive. I'm excited about that part. And I'm excited that now that they know, they can deal with it and it won't be a surprise in the future. Not a good surprise. Our next dream is from Dawn, and it's called School, Christian Singer. At first, I dreamed I was in some sort of school. There was an attractive boy there who had written a hit Christian song. His name was Fun. I love that. But he was not the band in the dream. I encouraged him to write more music because I asked him if he was afraid. He couldn't write another hit, and he said, maybe.
All right. So you'll often hear me saying we have to ignore part of a dream because it's too close to reality. And this dream is a great example of reality showing up in a dream. So Dawn has written a great song and does worry about that she won't be able to write another really good song. So why have this dream? Can we still interpret it? Well, we can definitely see what the dream is doing. Dawn is not so confident that she can repeat her success. And confidence is a masculine energy trait. So we have a boy in the dream. And boys and men can also represent ideas and logic. So here we have a dream about confidence with the idea of writing a new hit song. She encourages fun in writing. That's the guy's name, but that's what she's doing in the dream. She encourages fun in writing. And that's what she has to adapt in herself. But the key here is that she most likely won't be happy if she doesn't try to do it, which is why she is vicariously encouraging herself to have fun in writing a new song by encouraging the boy who has that name to write a new song. Does that make sense?
It does. What does Christian have to do with any of this? Is that because of a upbringing or?
Yes. So she, it's a Christian song. She's into Christian music and religious life. And so it's just part of her reality. And in fact, that group, I think, is a Christian group. I didn't know anything about them, but Fun is actually a band. So that's just part of the reality. So we ignore that because that's normal for her.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Well, that's an exciting dream. Encouragement to keep writing. So is there any signs in this dream that would make you say, there's some work here you could do, or?
No, but what is good is we see her encouraging herself in her dream. So that means that's what she needs to do in reality. It's what she really wants to do. So what happens in our dreams is our logic center goes, we shut it down, and so then we have the truth coming out. So that's why I always say dreams don't hold back their punches. But here, it's all positive. It's like she's encouraging this boy to work on writing another song. So really, she needs to encourage herself to do it.
Wow, that's awesome. I like that dream. That's so much better than the other one. Whew. All righty, let's move on to the next one. It's called Elevator, and this is also from Dawn. I was in a magical building of some sort. I just like the way she writes. And I could see myself going through the ornate brown ceiling. You would have to push the 64 button or the 67 button, but would end up going through the ceiling without any pain to the 102 or 103 floor. I took other people on the elevator and they did as well. It was like a scene from the movie Oh God, but we could see ourselves going through the ceiling and then I woke up. Wow, Michael, that's an interesting dream.
It is. And the Oh God movie is George Burns, if anybody remembers him.
Oh, that's an old one. That was a fun movie.
Yeah, I think he lived to be about 130 or something like that. And he lived from smoking cigars. That's what he lived on. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the magical building is her body. She's in a magical building. It's like your body's magical. And then she could see herself going through the ornate ceiling, presumably with an elevator because she's pushing buttons 64 and 67. But the 4 isn't a good number. 4 is about limitation. 6, though, is about going beyond the 5 senses. So this dream is encouraging her to work on raising her vibration and channel. Either one. So when I channeled on this, they're saying, yeah, anything that'll help you raise your vibration, we like you to do. In fact, the brown is the color of earth. So it's about practicality, something that's earthy and useful and worthwhile and practical for you to do. And so when we see the brown ceiling and pushing through the brown ceiling without pain, that's really good. It's saying you're going to be able to raise your vibration and get yourself to a new level. That's kind of like a new beginning. Like the 102 and 103 are about getting to this new realm, let's say, where you're going to be impressed about what you can learn on this new level. And so if you think about it from the perspective of like, I'm in this world and I'm learning all sorts of things, but if I can push through and get to this new upper level, then I'm at the beginning of that new level and it's going to be amazing and fantastic. And again, because of the reference to the movie Oh God and so on, it's all about raising the vibration.
All righty. So our next stream is from someone called Ellen, and it's titled Flying Hat. Ooh, I like the sound of it already. My husband and I were struggling to keep a hat from flying away into the air. The upward pull was very strong, and my husband was holding onto one end of the hat, and I was holding onto another end of the hat. My husband lost grip, but I was able to hold onto the ribbon that was tied to the hat and pulled the hat back down. The hat was securely in my hand, but it was still pulling upwards when I woke up. Now, Michael, that is such a strange dream. It'll be interesting to see if you get anything out of this one.
What? I wouldn't have it here if I wouldn't get out of it. Anyway, when we have our partner in a dream, the dream is about our relationship. Now, there can be other themes in a dream that are more significant than the relationship, but not in this case. So when we know the subject matter, everything else in the dream relates to it. So when she says, my husband and I were struggling, you could just stop the sentence right there. That's really what the dream is about. Difficulty in the relationship. Of course, present difficulty, not anything in the past, although it will have gone on for a while. But it looks like the focus is on the hat. But if you realize the hat is all about the relationship because everything in the dream is about the relationship, then we have it. And I wanted to stop it from flying away into the air. Okay, so the air in this dream is going to represent mental stress that comes from issues in the relationship. And the upward pull was very strong. My husband was holding on to one end of the hat and I was holding on to the other. So this is good. This is about both of you working on the relationship to make sure it stays on the ground. But my husband lost his grip, but I was able to hold on. So now it's just the dreamer. She's doing all the work to keep the relationship together. And even while she has it securely in her hand, she's saying the upward pull is still there from the wind. And so he's lost his grip. Essentially, we know what it is from talking to the dreamer. Her husband is an alcoholic. She's the one that's doing all the work in the relationship to keep it steady. And this is showing up in the dream now as a stress point. There's times when you look at an issue that's been going on for some time and it just hits you that like, why am I the one doing all this work? It shouldn't just be all on me. So the Ellen is at that point in her relationship and let's say in life.
Wow. Well, that's kind of sad. So what is the upward pulling?
So it's like getting pulled into the air and it's like it's going to fly away. So I'm afraid I'm going to lose my relationship. And that's her concern. So when I spoke to her, it's kind of funny. People are like this, though. We rather keep something that we are used to, even though it's not necessarily good for us in our life. And I'm not saying her relationship isn't good and can't be salvaged, but we generally don't want to change anything. Something I can definitely relate to in my past, even though it's not good for us, it's toxic and causing us major problems.
Wow. Well, that's kind of sad, but what an interesting way that dreams put this in your path. Because you would wake up from that dream wondering what's going on, but not necessarily realizing that it's stress that you're struggling with, and it's due to stuff going on in the relationship.
Yeah, it's the relationship you're struggling with, which is causing the stress.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, the next dream is called Flying Rocks, and this is from Amy. There were people throwing rocks horizontally and fast. No one was trying to attack other people, but it was some sort of interaction that made these rocks fly out at a very fast pace or speed. People were trying to dodge the rocks. I was standing behind a column and could see the rocks flying, but knew I was safe. Wow, that's an interesting dream. What are flying rocks, Michael?
A rock is kind of like a karmic symbol, getting hit by things. It's like life throwing rocks at me. What does it mean that she's standing behind the column and she knew she was safe behind the column? So it means she doesn't really feel safe in life. And the way she makes her feel safe is by stepping into her masculine energy and being intellectual. And so the column is a masculine energy symbol. This little bit of the dream is saying, look, you protect yourself using your masculine energy. So you've got to stop doing that. We shouldn't be protecting ourselves from life. Like, think about it this way. We spend all this time and planning to come here and like even petition to get the permission to come here. There's only a few slots on this planet. And then we finally get here and we go, oh my gosh, life is hard. I better hide from it. It doesn't make any sense. We come here to live a life fully. And most of us, me included, we try to avoid the things that life throws at us. But life is throwing them at us on purpose so that we can learn something about ourselves and ultimately get to a point where it doesn't matter what life throws at you. Life won't be able to change your behavior, change who you are and who you fundamentally know you are as a person or as a spirit.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous week. And remember, this is my birthday month. We celebrate every day.
Remember, we have our dream clinic tomorrow. You can go to freedreamclinic.com to get details and register to be notified, or you can go to dream-analysis.com/clinic to just join us tomorrow at 9 o'clock. See you there.